Thank you and welcome to the show for today. You are watching Perspectives and I am host Alana McLaughlin. This morning on the show, today's topic is the BC Bullyz brand. And today I have two guests here to discuss this brand, discuss the work that they do here in Middle Tennessee, and ultimately the impact that they seek to leave on our community through their work. And guys, I just want to thank you all for joining me this morning. I want you all to introduce yourselves, and to get this ball rolling, we're going to talk baby years. Okay. So Jawanza, I'll start with you. Introduce yourself and kind of set up what early life, 0 to 5, kind of looked like for you.
All right, well, Jawanza Wetzel, blessed, humbled, and honored to be here, by the way. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was born in 1972, teenage parents, common back then, product of Joseph and Paula being fast. Yeah. Big families on both sides. Yes, my mother was one of 9, my father was one of 7. Germantown, Mount Airy section of Philadelphia, very family-oriented area, great community to grow up with, a lot of love on both ends. Like on this end, I was Little Joe. On this end, that's Kenny and William Paul's nephew, you know, because my mother had 6 brothers, 2 sisters. I think she was either the 4th or 5th child. It's hard to keep up with. My father was the baby. He was the youngest. So he had 3 sisters and 3 brothers. So, you know, all within about maybe a 6-block radius of each other. So, I mean, you could just imagine growing up like it was just fun up and down Germantown Avenue between those 2 places. My cousin Oscar, who's no longer here, rest in peace, we were first cousins but raised like brothers. Our mothers were pregnant together. We're like a month apart. So we grew up doing everything together. And, you know, my whole childhood was, you said from, you know, just trying to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
You know, I had hoop dreams. That was my first thing. Yes. And, you know, that was it, you know, and just navigating between the Dixon family and the Liggett family. And, you know, grandparents were very heavily involved in the community. Yes, on my father's side, my grandpa Ed was a committeeman. My grandmother Lillian, she was judge of elections.
Yes, sir.
You know, so they were very involved in the community. My father said he remembers being young. You know, a lot of people knocking on the door, hey, Mr. Dixon, we need help with this, this and that. He said he remembers the mayor coming to the house. So they were very involved. My father was also a Panther. You know, he was involved with the Black Panthers in the Germantown section.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, my grandfather, on my mother's side, Ozell, he was a tailor by trade. So he worked at the post office. He actually, my mother's side is from Nashville.
Yes, sir.
From North Nashville. My grandfather skipped 2 grades. He graduated at the age of 15. He went to trade school, became a tailor by trade, did his time in the military. Like I said, 9 kids, so big family.
Yes, sir. And now, Jawanza, a little later in the segment, I want to pick back up on the impact that this big family and that all these different just kind of community leaders had on you. But Rhea, I want to hear that 0 to 5, and we're going to call you Doe for the remainder.
Doe Frazier.
The set it up for me just like that. Just that 0 to 5, those baby years, where you're from, kind of what you were into and what life looked like.
Yeah, I was actually born in Columbus, Georgia, in a small town, and very different from Jawanza. Our family wasn't as big. It was just me and my brother, which I'm 6 years older than my brother. So my dad was engineer at Ford Glass, and that's kind of how we got here to Nashville. So our early years were basically small town, small community, you know what I'm saying, that was tight-knit.
Yes, sir.
I mean, a lot of cousins and uncles and everybody around. But in Columbus, the opportunities were better here.
Yes,
so,
sir.
you know, Pop's like, yo, went to Tennessee State and graduated from Tennessee State.
Go Big Blue.
Because my uncle Art Marvelly was over at Meharry Medical, and he brought my dad up here and like, yo, you got to come up here and get some of this education.
Yes, sir.
And Pops, rest in peace, he passed 2 years ago. He was all about, you know, getting an education, and he was the Furious Styles of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So everybody gravitated towards. So I just had my brother, but I had my whole neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, if my dad's going to store, we're taking everybody with me.
Yes,
he
sir.
was that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all, I want to ask, we're just going to begin this kind of conversation before the segment ends, but I want y'all to think back on that childhood. Tell me kind of what your environments looked like. Outside of family, what were your neighborhoods experiencing? What were young Black black men, young black youth in your communities experiencing what was plaguing them.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to discuss it, Jawanza, especially just hearing just from Philly that experience.
Yeah.
Tell me just a little bit about what that outside environment looked like.
My outside environment, you know, aesthetically it was nice.
Yes, sir.
You know, Germantown's a nice area. You know, mostly I would call it a middle class
Yes, sir.
type of area. But Philadelphia is in sections.
Yes, sir.
So we went as a family a while back, and we were on my wife was like, "This is really nice." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "We're gonna turn down Meehan Street." Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and it's right across Germantown Avenue.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
it's 2 blocks away, so you're constantly navigating different terrains and different environments, and you know, you really have to know where you are and, you know, make sure you're with the right person. But for the most part,
Yes, sir.
you know, it was cool growing up. You know, we played basketball.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, a lot of people came from different areas because the court was in the middle and we played at different places and, you know, you met different people. And for the most part, it was really cool.
And in our second segment, we're just going to talk about the impact that these environments had, both our household and just the community around us, and just talk about how you guys are now giving back to these communities that brought y'all up. And I encourage viewers to tune into the second segment of Perspectives, where we will return to discuss the BC Bullyz brand, the impact that my 2 guests seek to leave on Nashville, and more. The second segment of the show for today. For viewers just tuning in, I am host Alana McLaughlin. You are watching Perspectives. This morning on the show, the topic is BC Bullyz brand, and I have 2 guests here from BC Bullyz talking about this brand, the work that they do in our local community, and ultimately the impact that they seek to leave on Nashville through their work. We spent our first segment setting up my guests' early backgrounds, where they're from, their kind of humble beginnings, and in this second segment, we're discussing adolescent experiences, pivotal experiences that have shaped them, that have kind of encouraged the work that they do, and ultimately the men, the fathers that they are, the parents, and just the community leaders that they are today. We're coming right back in.
Yes.
Doe, tell me about just kind of what your environment looked like, that outside environment, and kind of how it shaped you in those early kind of adolescent years.
Absolutely. My mother, she had a job working at the chicken plant, the factory. So she would take us from our house in the country downtown Columbus to my Aunt Peggy, who lived in the projects. And it was always my favorite trip because everybody was there. Peggy kept everybody. She was one of the people, yo, I got everybody while y'all working. And, you know, and at the time, you know, I was young. I didn't know, you know, this was that type of environment. We just had fun. It was like, everybody's here. We're outside and things are going on. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even think about, man, who's rich and who's poor, who has money, who does it, you know? So just going, you know, that environment. And I saw how later on, you know what I'm saying, the vices like alcoholism and drugs and things were around us. But at that early age, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see that. You know,
sir.
it was just, all I know, all my cousins is here.
Yes, sir.
We're all in this tight environment. When Aunt Peggy says, come on in the house, you know what I'm saying?
Before the lights come on.
Before the lights come on, yeah. Before mama come and pick you up, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't wait. It was almost like my boys club then, you know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir. Now, take me through adolescence, y'all. Take me through pivotal adolescent experiences, and specifically just kind of experiences that may have inspired BC Bullyz or just really just shaped the men that y'all are. And Jawanza, I'm coming right back to you. Take me through just kind of adolescence, high school and beyond, what that's looked like for you and how that's kind of impacted you.
So when you think about adolescence, I was really reflecting on this not too long ago. So, like I said, I grew up having hoop dreams. My mother was married for 7 years.
Yes,
my stepfather, my first love was baseball.
Yes, sir.
And I think the love for baseball comes from playing catch with your dad. I don't even know if I like, but I love to play catch with my dad. You know, I took to it. He used to take me to Phillies games. Now, they divorced the end of my 4th grade year. So we moved back with my grandparents. So when we moved back then, all my uncles hooped. There wasn't nobody to play catch with. You know, so they'd go outside and bounce this basketball in the street, work on your handle, and they would take me to the playground. They taught me how to hoop, and I just fell in love with the game. So it was mostly me. Like, most of my friendships came through basketball. It kept me in line in school. I was I guess a habitual daydreamer. I'm not into this. I don't really, I'm not tuning in if it doesn't interest me.
Yes, sir.
But I knew I had to keep a certain grade level to play basketball.
Yeah.
So it kept me in line, you know, and from 7th grade on, you know, that's what I did. Unfortunately, my grandmother, Juanita, who was like my whole heart, she passed in between my 9th and 10th grade year of high school brought me full circle back with my aunt who was living in Nashville. They was like, I had stopped playing, and they was like, he's not doing well, like he needs to a change of environment.
Yes, sir.
Came back down here where it all started, you know, with my aunt and, you know, McGavick High School, where I met the mighty Doe Frazier over here
Yes,
for
sir.
the first time in my life, you know, and, you know, I hooped at McGavick, and, you know, my focus at that time was just really basketball.
Yes, sir.
That was what I was really into. Now, my grandfather, Ozell, again, was a tailor by trade.
Yes, sir.
When I think how we get to BC Bullyz, he worked for Crass Brothers in South Philadelphia. They used to outfit, the mafia presence was real big in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
So the gangsters, the hustlers, you know, the businessmen, he was the guy making the tell. So you see these pictures of him, it's this one black guy standing there with all these Italian guys. He spoke a little Italian. He was a sharp dresser, his glasses on, man. He was that guy, you know, and I think that's where the influence. And then talking to my father, my grandpa Ed was a really sharp dresser.
Yes, sir.
You know, he could hang a suit, had his hats and things to that effect. So I think that's where we start to see, when you look historically, how we get to being a designer and being a streetwear brand
Yes,
owner.
sir. Now tell me, I mean, about getting wrapped into BC Bullyz with Jawanza. Tell me about him, like, kind of presenting this idea to you, your initial thoughts on it, and then I want to hear from either one of y'all about putting it into fruition. Tell me the first line, tell me like a mission statement, tell me how the wheels began to turn with this thing.
Well, Jay, you started off because I came in a little bit later on that.
Doe, we need you. So we rebranded. We started out as Blockchain Bullyz.
Yes, sir.
And we were educating on like cryptocurrency and things of that effect. And we had a collection called the Consciousness Collection.
Yes, sir.
In hindsight, it should have been in reverse.
Okay.
You know, the Blockchain Collection should have just been a collection inside the Consciousness Collection, because we got Doe to do, we were like, we're going to shoot a promo video.
Yes, sir.
We're heavily influenced by hip hop culture, conscious backpack rap to be exact. We didn't know if we could afford him. He laughed. I was like, oh, no, that's exactly what he said.
Come on, man.
So Doe said, well, write the intro. So I wrote the intro. It said, in a world of constant evolution, a crew of enlightened beings has emerged to bring light to the darkness and free the minds and raise the collective consciousness of the masses. That's BC Bullyz in a nutshell. So, you know, Doe did the anthem. We kind of sat on it, put it out. We're understanding and marketing and promoting at the time. We're like, this is not us. Like, we're on the spiritual conscious side.
Yes, sir.
It was drawing us there, yeah.
Doe was with us from the beginning. It only made sense. He was already unofficially official Bullyz.
Yes, sir.
So we brought him into the fold, like
absolutely.
full time. Like we needed him with us, like to make this happen.
And then
It's
after that,
been
we
great.
jumped down to my neck in it because, I mean, I call Jay the visionary, you know what I'm saying? He's the visualizer, you know, so he put the idea out there and I could see it, you know, I could see that, bro. Let's get it. Let's get it going.
Now, I just want to break this down, y'all. Tell me about raising the consciousness of just our community members. What does that look like? What does operating on a higher level look like? What does this mean? Yeah, explain to someone who just has zero spiritual consciousness background or just any history with this, and explain to just like someone off the street, what is this?
Well, consciousness means awareness.
Yes, sir.
So if you to take all the power and everything is really in the name. So you go BC Bullyz, that's brave, conscious, benevolent, unlearners, living like you only live once, zealously. So, you know, benevolent, well-meaning and kind. We feel like unlearning is like there's a system of indoctrination that is programmed. In order to find out who you truly are,
Yes, sir.
you have to unlearn who they've told you are.
Yes, sir.
In order to become your true self. And then, you know, we're living life every day, and we're living it like you only live once in this transition. So you go out and you attack everything with that type of vigor and zealously, with great energy or enthusiasm toward a goal or objective. The goal or objective is to free the minds and raise the collective consciousness of the masses through streetwear. This is our platform. So we're educating through our art.
And y'all, in our final segment, we're just going to talk about the impact that we've seen this brand have on the community, the impact that we are seeking just kind of in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're going to show off just some amazing products that you all have brought from this brand. And we're going to encourage our viewers to just get in contact with BC Bullyz. And I encourage viewers to tune into the final segment of Perspectives, where we will return to discuss BC Bullyz, the impact that this brand has had on Nashville, and the impact they seek to leave on our community. Welcome to the final segment of the show for today. For viewers just tuning in, I am host Alana McLaughlin. You're watching Perspectives. This morning on the show, I've had two guests here to discuss the BC Bullyz brand. In our first two segments, we set up my guests' early backgrounds, pivotal adolescent experiences, just the beginnings, the humble beginnings of the work that they do here in town. And in this final segment, we're just showing off just some of the products from BC Bullyz. We're talking about the importance and the significance of these products and ultimately the impact that my two guests seek to leave on Nashville through their work. Now, y'all, we have gifts. Where do y'all want to start?
We're going to start right here.
Okay.
So, ladies first, baddies. We didn't get a chance to speak of the baddies. We also have a female line, baddies. The power is also in the name with that. Beautiful, awakened, divine, dignified, youthful zeniths. You know, we show respect to the queens.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Foundation.
There's no life without our women.
Yes, sir.
So one of the biggest things in our brand, both the bullies and the baddies, is our crowns.
Yes,
we call
sir.
them crowns because they adorn your kingdom.
Yes, sir.
You know, so we're gonna start out. I'm gonna just rip these out these packages so you can get the full aesthetic.
Yes.
So, you know, our crowns are very, you know, we're influenced by the hip hop culture. You see the baddies and the graffiti. Evolution, we are constantly evolving.
Yes, sir.
We are an expansion of conscious thought expressed through clothing. 136.1 hertz. This is the Ohm frequency, which is the primordial sound of creation. So we're creators, living in a creation created by a creator. So we're constantly using our imagination and creating. It's the BC baddies. So
Thank you.
yeah, so we just getting started. Also, yeah, we got the baddies beanie. You know, it be cold sometimes a lot. You go into class, you get that. Then we got the hoodie
Yes, sir.
on deck. Got that on deck for you.
Oh, I love it.
Elegant.
Now, what's the significance of the rose, if any?
Yeah, we're just giving flowers to the queen.
Giving flowers.
Yeah,
I love it.
yep.
This is beautiful.
I don't
Thank
know,
you.
your lap not gonna be big enough to hold all of this.
Take some of that back.
And of course,
Hold it in
yeah, we'll put it back in the bag while Doe is getting into
Yes, sir.
the
Yeah, I know,
Bullyz
I
bag.
know,
Now,
the ladies
this
will
is the
watch you.
baddies. This is the baddies tee.
Uh-huh.
You know, you never know in Middle Tennessee. It might be 80 tomorrow. You might wear a
40
hoodie
today.
one day. So we wanted to make sure we got you a tee and a hoodie.
Yes. Thank you. I know my
You're
hands are
welcome.
slowly filling up.
And
right
Feeling
here.
good. Feel like Valentine's Day again, right?
Christmas and Valentine's.
And we'll put it all back in the bag for you. Now,
Let's go.
This is the Bullies. Now, we had to give you something from the Bullies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It just
We
wouldn't
gotta
make
represent,
sense
yeah.
if we didn't give you
You know,
a
you might want
Bullies
to run
piece.
ragamuffin someday. You know what I'm saying?
This is the Bullies. Now, this is DeFi.
Yes, sir.
DeFi is an acronym for Dedicated Evolutionaries Finding Illumination. You see, he's got the third eye.
Yes, sir.
He's got the pyramid behind him, which represents ancient knowledge and wisdom of Kemet. And if you look, first when you look at it, you think it says beware, but it says be aware.
Be aware.
And awareness is consciousness, so we're saying be conscious. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I just love the intricate thought that has gone into this, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the evolution. So the last part of it, we got to speak on the evolution, and we
Okay.
got to speak on. We still got some gifts over there.
Okay, yes.
We
Let's
have
keep
to
it
speak
coming.
on the evolution.
You start
so-
and we'll get gifts going. Yes.
Yeah.
So here we go. So shout out to the collective, to the evolution.
Yeah.
That's our networking family, our ambassadors, people that we network with. And they sent some gifts because that's how we do. Like,
Yes,
'cause,
sir.
you know,
Yeah.
and we want to
Tight-knit
shout them out.
community,
So
Yes, sir.
Jazzy, the Uncontrolled Goddess, spoken artist
Jazzy.
from Nashville, Tennessee. She is super dope. She did a piece for the baddies for us
Yes, sir.
that you'll be hearing soon. We have a alcohol-infused fruit beverage from Jazzy. We also have her book of poetry, which is super dope.
Super dope.
Life Goes On, inspired by the poetry of Tupac Shakur. Yeah. She did autograph this for you as
Great
well.
read also, yes.
Amazing read. Shout out to E.T. Got Soul and Raw Proof.
Raw Proof.
Bars in the Borough. First Saturday of every month. Performances and freestyle ciphers, underground hip hop, totally dope event, no cover charge.
No cover.
Please come and support. It is amazing.
Yeah,
it is
have
amazing.
a lot of good artists in Nashville, and then we get to showcase them.
Yes,
they showcase them at Bars in the Borough.
Our brother, the legendary, thank you, Doe, top notch, DJ, producer, extraordinaire, host. Like, I can't say enough about our brother, man.
Yes, sir.
He sent the tea. Also part of the legendary, along with James Doe Nova Kane, Groove Control, all vinyl DJ crew. Micah Manifesto, the Alchemy Guide, MC, Ty A Creations. There is art in everything. This is an all-purpose tray.
Yes, sir.
It's a one of one.
Oh, and it's beautiful.
He does resin art. He also does beats. He's an MC. He's everything. You know, Doe's brother in the Elders. My brother in the Evolution.
And also a staple in the community. He was here with Beat Knock Radio, the local radio show for Nashville back in the day to get artists going, you know, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Groove Control sticker. So we had some logistics issue with getting the tea, but we'll be sending that to you. But it's an all vinyl DJ crew.
Yes.
Doe's other brother from the Elders, James Doza. We call him Doza Nova. That's his rap name, Doza Nova Kane. So it's top notch. Doza Nova,
Lady Unleash.
Unleash, B-Rock, Hook, Mickey Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
All vinyl DJ crew. If you see Groove Control anywhere in Nashville, go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you, go. They are off the chain.
Now, fellas, first, thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for these beautiful gifts. But I want to know how the community can get these very same items. Use these about last 2 minutes of the segment to plug in social medias, websites, and ways that I can share these beautiful items with Nashville.
All things BC Bullyz. You can go to BC Bullyz with a Z.com.
Yes, sir.
Our social media handles, all of this gear, our crowns, everything. We've got a blog on there. We've got everything that you need can be found in that one location. That's BC Bullyz with a Z.com. All of the baddies gear, all of that stuff you can find there. Also, theelders.com. Elders with a Z.com. Nashville hot merch. They got a hot song the Elders do.
Got the anthem.
It's tearing up the radio. Quick shout outs. So we got to go. Lil Timmy, I know he's been on the show.
Yes.
Pressure Volume 3, Hustleology. Yes. Best thing on the streets, in my humble opinion. We got to go. MCD.
Yes, been here as well.
Shout out to MCD, A West, the whole Click Tight Circle movement. Yeah, they are extremely. I went to the That's On Me single release. I love the energy over there with that squad. We got PM, Chris PM R&B Jones, killing it on the R&B side. His son, Saint Prospect, also an MC. First father and son.
Yes.
R&B hip-hop duo coming out, dropping the Alpha and Omega project.
Jawanza, I just have to thank you. Thank you for just even taking the time to just shout out the community. Thank you for plugging these people in. And Doe and Jawanza, thank you for just sharing your time with me. Thank you for the work that you do in Nashville. This is God work.
Appreciate it.
And this is seriously impactful work. I thank you all. And to my viewers, thank you for the opportunity to share one more perspective. Good morning.